So I've been thinking about making this video for quite some time, and I finally sat down and hashed out some guidelines that I think would make internet discussions more productive and beneficial for all parties involved. And because of the nature of how long-winded I am, this will probably end up being a series of videos that I'll go back and forth to, where I'm like, hey, you know, maybe we should talk about things this way instead of that way, and we can have this sort of ongoing dialogue. Number one, stop assuming that the person you disagree with is inherently bad, or why personal jabs basically invalidate your entire argument. And you can see it in basically every legislative body of any government ever, and you can probably even see it in your own house. Two people or two groups of people decide that the opposition or the opposite side exists solely to spread evil and mass genocide on the planet. Yeah, see, I'm pro-life because I'm not really sure where life begins, so I'm sort of iffy on where I stand in that topic. What? How is that possible? Bleepity bleepy you! You don't care about bleepity 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 bleepy you and bleepity bleepy all babies. Your mother's an alcoholic. No. What? That's what? Yeah, I'm a feminist because I think that women have been undervalued, underrepresented, and frankly oppressed for the majority of human existence. You hate men. You just hate all the men. Why do you hate all the men, huh? Why do you hate all the men? You're fat and you're ugly and you're a lesbian. By the way, you're a lesbian? You're gay? Really, guys? That's not an insult. If you really see someone as inherently evil, then you shouldn't even be talking to them, let alone insulting and arguing with them. Because inherent to the definition of inherent is that they can't help being that way, and therefore there's really nothing you can do. So for someone to be inherently evil, and let me tell you, most people are not inherently evil. You're just wasting your time if you're convinced that that's what they are. Inherent to the definition of inherent? Does that make sense? No, yeah, Cara, that makes sense. You're good, that makes sense. And the minute that you resort to personal jabs, the other person you're arguing with can just completely ignore everything you've said before that, because there is no reason whatsoever to attack someone personally. And therefore they can just walk away and be completely in the right in walking away. To this day, there is no justification for bullying someone, no matter how right you think your argument is. Rather than saying, oh, you're stupid for thinking that, try using dialogue that is more conducive to continuing the conversation. For example, you can say things like, the problem with that particular line of reasoning is, I don't really agree with the argument that states, I'm not understanding the point wherein it was outlined that, etc., etc., etc. Take the you and the blaming out of the conversation. Take the accusation out. It has nothing to do with intellectual discourse. It has no place in that. And you'll find that not only are people more likely to want to keep talking to you, you'll be able to continue a dialogue longer, and you'll both be able to grow and learn from each other, and you might even see a new perspective that you had not otherwise considered before. But let me be clear, I'm not someone that thinks that someone's opinion is equal to that of someone's valid experience and research and sources and education. The CEO of Exxon does not deserve to have his voice heard in equal weight about climate change as a group of environmentalist scientists that have spent decades studying it. What I am saying is that being wrong is totally cool, and that ignorance is forgivable. It can be forgivable in most cases, but bullying and name calling and petty just jabs, that's not cool. It's never cool at all, ever. Also, having to succumb to name calling and that kind of stuff pretty much proves that you are not so sure about your argument and that you don't have a strong footing on it, because someone who knows their topic really, really well doesn't have to try and trigger an emotional response from the person that they're talking to. They can deal with the other person in a perfectly rational, emotionless state. It's just bad arguing. You're just doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong, and you're floating in your sea of wrong, and you're just getting people angry, and you're getting yourself angry, and then your heart rate goes up, and then you have high blood pressure, and then you have a heart attack, and it's just like, bro, why? That's my piece on that. There's a whole bunch of thoughts that I have about how we can discuss things better, and again, as someone who like spent a lot of their time being a kind of a debate coach in high school, something that I have a little bit of experience in. Hopefully this proved helpful, and that's basically what I have to say about that. I'll see you next week.